Can someone track down the women Kamala Harris says are bleeding out in parking lots because Roe v. Wade was overturned? Don't hold your breath.
Don't hold your breath. That condescending smirk belongs to John McEntee, who is a former Trump White House official and now a staffer for Project 2025, the extremist blueprint for a second Trump term. Thousands of women responded to his callous post, sharing stories of being denied abortion care during a health emergency. Among them was Carmen Brewster.
Present. I'm right here. I had a 19-day miscarriage in Idaho because of the abortion regulations. I was turned away not from one ER, but 2 ERs. Technically 3, because I walked into one and they said they wouldn't help me and I had to walk out. I blacked out in my hallway due to blood loss. I developed a heart condition called AFib. It means my heart doesn't work right anymore. And it up. So if I get too excited, too hot, too much in pain, too traumatized, if somebody yells at me too much, my heart up. And so I have to regulate for my heart to keep active. Otherwise I could have a heart attack and die. I have to deal with these side effects for the rest of my life because of abortion laws. But yeah, women are bleeding out in parking lots. I actually have a pinned video of me saying they're gonna just let me bleed out here, if you want to refer to that. But I'm present. Hi. But yeah, we exist.
Some Republicans want you to think of abortion as sort of an isolated elective procedure with no medical basis that's disconnected from women's overall reproductive health. But since the Dobbs decision overturned the constitutional right to abortion, stories like Carmen's underscore the reality that abortion care is a critical component of maternal health. Many women who have been denied care because of draconian abortion bans were carrying wanted pregnancies, but each faced health complications that required abortions to save their lives. Their stories illustrate in very stark terms how the politicization of this aspect of women's health has life or death consequences for any woman who can be pregnant. Everything that could go wrong as a result of Dobbs has, including the case of Caitlin Cash, a Texas woman whose routine postpartum care was delayed for the removal of remaining placental tissue after giving birth to a healthy baby girl. That procedure, known as a D&C, is also used in abortion care, which may be why medical staff at the hospital where Caitlin was staying failed to perform it. Texas's near-total abortion ban criminalizes medical professionals who carry out abortion procedures. Even when D&Cs are used for other medical purposes, doctors are simply too afraid to be able to do their jobs. When Caitlin didn't receive the care she needed, her condition deteriorated and she lost consciousness. What began as a normal delivery ended up with her in the ICU, and she was later told she was lucky to have not lost her uterus. This is what it means to be a pregnant woman in post-Roe America. The U.S. already has the highest rate of maternal death among high-income countries, according to the Commonwealth Fund. Abortion bans have only made that worse. A KFF study found that 68% of OBGYNs believe the Dobbs ruling has worsened their ability to manage pregnancy-related emergencies, and 64% say pregnancy-related mortality has increased. At best, the anti-abortion activists pushing these abortion bans assume that nothing can go wrong during a pregnancy, but you have to be pretty stupid to think that's true. There is, however, a darker truth lurking behind these efforts. To remain indifferent to the countless women who are harmed by these abortion bans is to see them as nothing more than collateral damage in a broader crusade to impose forced births. Let's be clear. This isn't actually about saving unborn babies. It never has been.
Should the woman be punished for having an abortion?
Look,
this is not something you can dodge. If you say abortion is a crime or abortion is murder, you have to deal with it under the law. Should abortion be punished?
Well, people in certain parts of the Republican Party and conservative Republicans would say yes, they should be punished.
How about you? Do you believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no, as a principle?
The answer is that there has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah.
The answer is there has to be some sort of punishment for the woman. By treating abortion as a crime, as something isolated from general maternal health care, Christian fundamentalist extremists frame women's bodily autonomy as something to be policed and controlled by the state. Now, imagine if men's health care were treated the same way. Imagine a world in which a man is denied basic care for a prostate condition because a law overrides his urologist's professional judgment. Imagine men being forced to bleed out in parking lots because lawmakers felt entitled to interfere with their doctor's decisions. It's almost inconceivable because it sounds so absurd, yet this is the reality for women in America today. Men don't live in a world where their reproductive organs are treated as state property. I have greater rights over my body today than the segment producer who wrote this script, than my senior producer, than her boss, my executive producer, than her boss and her boss. I have greater bodily autonomy than the majority of my staff, all the women in my family, and in fact, all the women in America watching me right now. And that's not right. That's not equality. That's not liberty. And that's not democracy. No one living in a democracy should have to endure such intrusion into the most personal and intimate aspects of our lives. This is the very definition of a human rights violation, made possible only in a world that reduces women to mere instruments of reproduction. Abortion care is health care, and the GOP's campaign to convince you otherwise poses a deadly threat to American women.